All right, folks, welcome back once again. We're going to be getting into a brand new series here shortly. Let's wait for the players to join us, but we do want to take some time to do a bit of self-advertising while we wait. So you've heard us mention this Team House thing. You've probably heard us talk about the fundraiser over the last couple of weeks. Again, this is really quick and will take you only a moment to check out the !mega command in chat. It'll link you to the Match Arena page, which shows the fundraiser and the money and all this stuff we're trying to get going. But I had some questions I actually asked recently, like, do you think the fundraiser is going well? It's kind of slowed down, yada yada yada. But the thing is, we've technically, like in my eyes at least, we've technically not really launched this yet. We wanted to get it going in December because we knew December is when some people had some extra bucks floating and they were throwing it all over the place. So we said, why don't we direct it to the fundraiser? It was going to be hard and is hard to try and sell you guys on the idea for this really cool project when we didn't have the house at the time. But again, as of today, we have the house. I can throw up like 4 or 5 pictures here real quick. Bloop, 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 bloop. And you kind of get an idea what it looks like. Zombie Girl was there in person while she was staying in Korea, so she got to look at the house firsthand as well. I mean, this thing's pretty spacious. I think it's going to provide an excellent training area for the players. And as we have other foreigners come and go throughout the year, I'm hoping they'll have a really good experience and have something to reflect on that with. That being said, one of our major goals with the house is, of course, do content with it, you know, film the players playing and interviews and all this cool stuff. But most importantly, the $30,000 US we invested in the house, when we get that money back, because that $30,000, by the way, is like the world's biggest security deposit, okay? When we get that money back, we want to use that as a prize pool for like a massive event. We want to have like Koreans versus foreigners. It's not going to be as big as BlizzCon, obviously, but the same sort of concept, like have a lot of things leading up to it. So the people who stay in the house, the people who train in the house, they're going to be the only ones invited to the tournament. Everyone else will have to qualify through qualifiers and what have you. So I think this is going to be a really awesome project. And Zombie and I have also pledged, oh, you can go when they're ready, by the way. Zombie and I have also pledged, like, we're so intent on making this big thing happen that all donations we're getting through the stream for the next however many months it takes are just going to be forwarded to the Match Arena fundraiser page. So, for example, we had a couple of bucks of donations today already. A couple of generous people throwing in $24. When the stream's done, that $24 is going right to that fundraiser because we really want to make it happen, guys. So if you got a couple of bucks handy, if you're willing, awesome. If not, once we have Major Kelazur in the house next week, Scarlett comes back from WESG. We're going to be doing some filmed content, and hopefully we'll have like the proper launch of our really awesome project. We also have some rewards and stuff planned. You'll notice there's nothing really on there right now, but we've talked about the ideas of like getting a picture of everyone in the house and sending out like a postcard to all the people who pledge and cool things like that. So we have stuff planned, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it once we actually do a full and proper launch. That being said, that mouthful aside, we are in game number 1 in a new match here for the BTSL. This one's going to be a ZvP, and spawning in the top left side of the map, he's kicking ass. He's taking names. It's ByuL.
In the bottom right is the red Protoss. He is herO.
And of course, I just want to give a thank you to all those who were diligent enough to tune in today, because of course we know WESG, a $400,000 event, no big deal, was also going on as we were broadcasting. But it was nice to see you guys come join us bright and early. So super shoutouts to the extra dedicated BaseTradeTV fans. Yeah. But one more off-topic thing to discuss. You guys might see in chat we have somebody lurking around. Her name's Minnie Mouse GG. Speaking of the GGs, she's the one who's going to try and make a new GG emote for the channel. So if you guys have suggestions and ideas or anything cool you'd like to see in that emote, shoot suggestions her way, guys. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with like a Rifkin-style Comic Sans GG set of, yeah, it's like terrible. You don't want to see this type of emote, okay?
My friends had one because they made a Flash animation when they were like 13, 14, and they had everyone, use their own voices to dub it, and it was about Wheel of Time, and they were the nerdiest nerds ever.
Did they?
And I remember
ship
that they used geosites because like 4 years ago we wanted to go find it and we couldn't. It's fucking geosites.
I had an Angel Fire website for my Neopets shop because that's how big of a deal it was. Okay.
Oh my god, no way. Nah, actually, like the early days. Well, not really the early days of the internet, was it? It was kind of the middle years of the internet. But the point is, like 10, 15 years ago, the internet was this new place, I guess, for us as youngsters. And I remember I actually my forum got so popular that I actually had people offer to buy it from me for like hundreds of dollars. But I thought it was a scam because, I was like a scabby. Yeah. I was a savvy.
Yo, you're really scabby? Ugh.
Yeah. I was a savvy, 14-year-old. And actually, I think they were legit. I think they just wanted to put like ads on it and stuff. So I should have sold it. Should have sold it for $800 and been like one rich 14-year-old. Damn.
I like, too, because hundreds of dollars is pretty cool. 14 years old, tens of dollars makes you rich. I think $100 is 14. You're a millionaire, basically. But uh-oh. Is this me?
My parents actually gave me a...
Uh-oh. It's lagging. And I think it's me. Because I'm missing something up on Skype here. Frames are dropping and this feels bad, man.
Wait, so you can't hear me? Wait,
hello?
Hello?
I can hear you now.
Now you're good.
Could you hear me through that whole mess?
Yeah.
Interesting. So 1,000 frames dropped. Things broke. Feels bad, man.
Okay, well, it took a long time for it to show up on screen. Like, you weren't lagging that entire time. You lagged like for 5 seconds, and that was it.
Okay, for me, that was very strange because it just looked like everything was freezing. I thought I was going to get kicked out of the game.
No, you're good. Anyway, yeah, I was saying that I got an allowance, so it wasn't exactly like a big deal.
I keep forgetting you lived in a mansion with a butler too. Like,
yeah, and what's weird is that whenever my brothers would stop getting allowance because they were old enough and they got their own jobs or whatever it was, my mom would just give me their allowance. So like,
freaking.
by the time I was like 16, I was actually like, I was just saving money.
Okay, so I had an allowance before I get too snarky about this, but would you like to know how much my allowance was?
I think you told me once and it was small.
Yes, it was less than $5 a week. It was like $2 a week.
I'm not going to say what my allowance was.
It was so I could afford to once a week get Skittles from the vending machine.
Nice.
Yo, I was actually quite the crowdfunder even before I knew I was, cuz I knew if I asked somebody for $1, they wouldn't give me $1. But if I asked someone for a quarter, they would easily give me a quarter. Oh, so I just asked like 4 or 5 people for a quarter.
That's the way to do it, man. I got allowance, so I always felt guilty about asking my mom for anything. So, I mean, that was like kind of like the upside, I suppose. Like, I didn't end up like a spoiled brat. But I also didn't like whenever ask her for lunch money. So I'd go days without lunch just because I was too lazy to ask her. And I didn't want to like have to like put the check in because I don't. Apparently, this was unique to me. I know there's a game going on, but apparently it's unique to me that I didn't have to actually bring money each day. You could actually give them a check or like $50 or whatever, and just like deposit into your account. Like I had an account number and everything.
What? You spoiled rotten.
Yeah.
All right.
So like I guess it's like new schools, but anyways, right? There's a game going on. It's kind of important because it is Phoenix Opener Double Stargate on 3 bases, which you think might lead into cares, but actually isn't. But it doesn't matter what it's leading into because ByuL is still going to be hitting at a time before there's a lot of production with good units.
I mean, I love the idea of the Nidus Swarm to get underneath this, to not have to get picked apart by the Phoenix little bit by little bit, but at the same time, this should never have, like this Overseer with so many Phoenixes on the map should never have gotten over here to drop the Nidus Swarm in the first place. The Queens come out, the Overchargers is going to get popped, those other pylons are not done just yet, so the Mothership Core goes down, there's not going to be any more Overchargers. SimCity favors ByuL in this, those pylons now hurting herO more than helping him, and of course another Nidus Swarm comes down, but looks like the army still might clean it up. That's a hell of a lot of Phoenix.
Well, the killing of the Queens happened very quickly. The question would be, do the Phoenixes have enough energy to pick up all of these roaches? And so far they do.
Well, the roaches could also retreat back into the Nidus Swarm. He's trying to buy time because he wants those Spore Crawlers to complete. Let's also not forget about this Nidus Swarm over here. Those Phoenix are now out of position, so they fly on this way, leaving these roaches free to get to this mineral line. And herO's just torn left and right. His Stalkers are busy having a midlife crisis, and things just get real bad real fast.
I actually don't know how bad it is. Like, only 4 probes have gone down. Well, okay, 9 total, I guess.
Well, it's only 4 probes. You gotta consider what's the army. Like, herO's got 42 army supply, but most of that's Phoenix.
I don't think that actually Well, ByuL has an army too, but it's only roaches. And like, herO was caught right before transitioning. So as long as he can actually get his production up, which is like his worst problem right now, is a lot of gateways, and get his immortals out. Like, I think he's dealt with this much better than anticipated, for sure.
Oh, here we go. I was gonna say, once we start getting some lings flooding in, this will get a lot better for ByuL, because right now the problem is like, yeah, the roaches are gonna get picked up, but the lings won't be picked up.
Yeah, he's really got to protect these immortals. Like, if he ever gets to a count of 3 immortals with barrier, there's no way the roaches are enough. But if he loses them one at a time, then okay, maybe he can still be overwhelmed.
69 workers have died. So, oh, you ruined it by getting 2 more kills. Way to go, ByuL. Natural base once again getting attacked. Knives from does get cleaned up. Looks like that the lings aren't quite getting out of hand. I really thought the lings flooding in would be just too much to handle, but trickling in the way they are, getting picked off by even the stalkers. Forget the immortals for a moment. Like the gateway units are actually kind of covering it.
Yeah, well, 18 probes is certainly better than it was 30 seconds ago. But
he's killed enough workers at this point where I think ByuL, if you wanted to, could macro out of it, but he's still going really all in, really dedicated.
He needs to protect his immortals from these lings. Keep on having the immortal keeps on having to chew away at lings as opposed to roaches, which is like the real job. Or the Nidus Worm. It finally gets the Nidus Worm.
Yeah, but
so
another one comes down. He burrows the roaches. No detection. Oh, that's good too, because they'll heal them up.
Yeah. Well, he can get an observer. He's taking his time. Also, his gases have not been mining continuously, and he never got his 3rd gases, obviously. So he's having a lot of trouble warping in important units.
Such a scrappy game, and I'm loving every second of it. By the way, and a 4th base gets taken out of ByuL while this goes on. I'm amazed that this happens, but I guess he is thinking a little bit more about the long game, not about everything that's happening right now. I'm surprised, though, between massive amounts of queens, spore crawlers going down, only 4 Phoenix have died so far.
Yeah, well, the queens got cleaned up so quickly in the early game. Like, if they are not cleaned up as quickly as they were, if the Phoenixes waste more energy picking up drones or something like that, then, I mean, this game could have already been over, actually. Phoenixes were absolutely instrumental in buying that time for gateways and the robo to finish and for the immortal to actually pop out. You know, it was very close game. And now where do we find ourselves? Well, my cat is actually like in front of the information tab.
She like can't see.
So like, all right, so hero's down 20 workers.
Well, so what's interesting about this though is hero's up and upgrades. However, ByuL has no real tech behind this whatsoever. He's got speed on his units, and that's kind of nice, I guess. But there's no weapon upgrades. There's no armor upgrades. There's no infestors coming out. Like everything he has is kind of really brute force. And frankly, as you could have stated earlier, like a couple of force fields, guardian shield, those immortals, like I think those beat out brute force.
Okay, there you go. Totally. These Hydras will be upgraded with speed and range. It's very helpful, but those Phoenixes are quite scary. They have more energy, maybe. They can help. They can help a lot. herO could just kill a 4th base and then leave.
Will he look for it though? Because I mean, this was such a dedicated all-in. It might not seem obvious that there's a 4th down. He did see the creep barely, but might not be thinking about it. The Phoenixes are going to pick up the Hydras. That's really unfortunate, but the Hydras also going to be a bit surprised with so many Zealots on the front line. Force fields will kind of act as that buffer, so who needs charge if the Hydras can't run away?
Yeah, right?
Oh, I like the burrow, though. That was actually clever to keep them alive. They would have otherwise died to the Zealots. I assumed they had died to the Zealots. Did not actually see them burrow, and maybe herO didn't either.
I thought there definitely was an observer, right?
There was. It was on the other side of the map, though. I don't think he brought it with him.
Well, there's no observer now, so I think he did.
Oh yeah, maybe it flew over the spore crawler or something. But.
I think that's what happened, and that's why he's able to burrow. Well, either way, probes went down though, which is a pretty big deal. I guess something was buried. No, that's single roach. A single roach.
Yeah, it's got a ton of kills on it. While this goes on though, it looks like he is going to beat the army back, and I think ByuL has done it. It was a long, way too scrappy, hard-fought battle, but he breaks the immortals, the sentries, and those were the core parts of the army.
Yeah, herO definitely made a mistake here. He could have. I mean, you can see why he thought going for the kill was a good move. At the time that he moved in, there was only like, 10 units, and he could deal with that. But letting one roach kill as many probes as it did, not going for the 4th base, and then continuing, to like smartly pressure from there, because you can get the 4th base no problem. I think like that just goes down, and herO or ByuL has to give it up. Then you test the 3rd, and if that doesn't work out, then you retreat with force fields. The way that herO attacked in between the natural and the 3rd, I don't think there was ever going to be a retreat path Unless he had like a ton of force field, which also is
Oh, and the Phoenix fly over top. The Hydras. Oh my god, it feels bad, man. I gotta say, this is gonna be my favorite PvZ we've seen in a while, though. This was really close on both sides. Like ByuL almost lost the attack, he almost lost the defense. Same thing could be said for herO. And I don't think herO's gonna comfortably recover. I think he's too far gone at this point.
Yeah. I think so too. Even if he hadn't lost 12 plus probes or whatever to a single roach, I still think it's not good enough.
So just by the way, I think it was like 10 probes, and I think it was 2 roaches. One of them was I think at another base and got killed. But I just feel like every time we tell this story, it's gonna be like the fish that I caught. It was this big, and the next time it was this. Like it was one roach killed like 40 workers, guys. It was insane. Like
it was 12 or 10. Right?
It was 10, I'm pretty sure. But it doesn't matter. The point is, like, it did kill a lot of workers, and that's what really put him behind, right? It was just meant to be a silly joke. But GG's get called. ByuL ends up taking that first game.
I got this. On replay. I can't see if there's more than one roach, unfortunately. It's a minimap's not that clear, but...
I just got a message by Classic, by the way. He says, I'm sorry I forgot. I sleep. See you next time, ... So I guess he really wanted to play today.
No, I think it was one roach to the third base. Because it actually chases the probes at some point, the probes that were pulled away from it.
Okay, well, my point wasn't trying to correct you. I was just making a joke. Like, it's like this big.
This is continuing the joke, right? And getting some confirmation.
All right.
That's what I'm going to talk about.
Well, it is going to be up to herO to pick the map. We'll find out which one he wants to go with in a moment. For this, let's see where the other brackets are at while you watch that. Also, is the stream stable again? Looks like frames did stop dropping. It was just one weird hiccup in that game. No idea what caused that, guys. Sorry about that.
I need to get water.
Okay. While you do that, we actually had quite a few people chuck in some bucks to our fundraiser, which is cool. But most importantly, and WTF, Zeph just threw in $100.
Whoa.
Zeph! Zeph! I love your face. What are you doing, girl? Thank you for the $100. That will go towards some really awesome stuff. Maybe she just really wants to see Scarlet cook.
Oh. It's going to be an overgrowth. You can make that.
Okay, I'll host. But super shout outs to Zeph, guys. She's been awesome. Where is Game Heart? Alright. Then herO and ByuL and Zombie Chrome. Of course, we mentioned it earlier in the cast. I'm going to bring it up again. Crank is also streaming some matches. He's not been casting any of the same ones as us, so I'm not sure which games he's covering right now. But he has very much intentionally been picking other games to show more games, which I think is awesome and cool. So make sure to check out his stream as well. But he'll probably be syncing up with us shortly because, again, we're currently in the round of 8. And as we mentioned, the semifinals will both be cast. They'll both be covered. But I guess we'll wait for Zombie Grub. Quick commercial break. See you guys soon. All right, folks, welcome back. Getting into the map. It was this fella's choice as he's currently down 1 game. Bottom left side of the map, it's going to be herO.
And top right is the blue Zerg. It is ByuL.
Okay, so that was very fun, excellent, tasty, saucy, whatever, delicious game. I will say though, I feel that's very much a one-of-a-kind game, and I don't imagine ByuL is going to be so prepared to throw down another Nidus Worm and scrap that out the same way that he did, because it was only, I feel, not even that secure of a game for him. Like, he won, but I don't know that that's a game he necessarily won with a lot of confidence and bravado.
I don't think so. After his queens were cleaned up, I think that's when he probably started to worry, and then he thought, well, I could continue attacking and have a second Nidus Worm and probably start to rack up enough kills, which is what ended up happening, but that was still not a situation you want to be in. You want to have the Nidus Worm, and then you want to just kind of like instantly, know if you're winning or not. Instantly kill the pylons, kill the phoenixes, what have you. But I don't think it's going to be a same situation where herO will go for double Stargates. One, I think if you do go for it, you just open yourself up to potentially being scouted and Nidus Wormed, whether you go for the carrier follow-up or gateway robo follow-up. And then, you know, second of all, I think that it just, you know, would be risky for ByuL to, even if he did scout it, because Overgrowth can go into double Stargate, I suppose, and like carrier build if it really wanted to, but I don't. It's not the most popular map for it. It'll just be too risky to do it.
That's kind of clever. The Lings are currently looking for that probe that had looked like it had left the base after scouting, but really took a hard left and just stuck in. So I don't think this will be for pylons or anything quite so insane, but it will be cool to see a little bit of extra scouting on a herO and know exactly what ByuL's up to. I really don't think herO's playing scared or anything after that last game, but he's certainly going to be thinking hard about, like, yeah, what's he doing game 2? I got to keep an eye on that.
It's kind of hard to... Well, I was going to say, what exactly do you scout at this time for this probe? And I would say that I guess it would have been Evolution Chamber. And if it's Evolution Chamber, then it's +1. If it's +1, then it's Overlord drops, usually. So that was a decent thing to scout. The lack of Evolution Chamber, I guess, would say that it's a third base being taken too at that natural, which could have been up in question. You know, it's a possibility ByuL would have gone for like a Ling all-in surprise. But it ended up being a useful probe scout. It ended up dying, of course, before it saw any actual tech be thrown down. But if it's not going to be something of a 2-base attack or all-in or anything like that, then the assumption is there that it's going to be 3-base defensive, you know, Roach Warren, Baling Nests, whatever it is. And ooh. I guess ByuL cancels the Overlord speed because he actually managed to scout the Stargate. Still surprised he canceled it. Like, usually if it's already halfway done, you just see it finish, and then they can maybe save their Overlords from, like, a Phoenix or 2 later on. But nope, cancels it, gets the money back, puts it in the drones.
I would say for ByuL, of course, it's always a little bit awkward having to take your third first. But I guess I was kind of wondering a little bit whether he'd reach for the gold instead of his natural, since he's proven already he's willing to be that kind of guy.
Yeah. Pretty quick third base. Makes sense at the Stargate opener. It's an Oracle opener, you know, too, and it is followed by a Phoenix. I think that this is what herO did last time. Oh, no pylons down means that a couple of Lings can actually tear down the third base building.
Well, the Mothership 4 is here to make sure this doesn't get too out of hand, but yeah, that's the pylon going down kind of secures that if there had been more, like 6 more Lings on the way, this would have been pretty bad.
Yeah. It was like 10 to 12 Lings. I think that their base is canceled without a pylon there, but ByuL starts as +1, but it is later. He also does his speed for his Overlords, but just later. You know, he used the money earlier on to get a bit of an economy. Unfortunately, his Lings were on the left side of the map, and they were only just being pulled back, so these Adepts get way too many drones. If they had gotten like 2, 3 more, I think that's actually way too many. 6 is just good for the Adepts.
Yeah, well, let's not forget this would partner up with the Oracle, so this was a pretty heavy attack for ByuL to have to deflect, but he did do it not so badly. The Queen's got that Oracle so low that if it comes back in for anything other than Revelations, it's certainly going to die.
Yeah. It is going to be a Baling Nest and a Lair for ByuL. He's continually checking to see what herO has got in his front, and herO does reveal it's not going to be a double Stargate. It is a robotics facility, and there's the assumption that there's a Twilight Council and whatever else in the main base. Forge. The game continues on. So the question is, right now, is does ByuL go into Roaches and Ravagers, or does he add on those Hydralisks? Whirlwind, he did add on the Hydralisk, and a lack of Roach Warren even now might say that he just goes into Hydralisk too. I'm gonna guess he's just gonna add on Hydralisk and not bother with Roaches at all. He did kind of slaughter herO on Whirlwind, was it? Or was that Creator? It might have been Creator, actually. Yeah, it was Creator. This is the second game. So, right, but he still did it on Whirlwind against another Protoss player, and it worked out very well. Maybe herO will be a little bit smarter about his army positioning.
Well, looks like a Adept sneak in and kill a couple more drones. Just trying to keep an eye. I'm really curious what ByuL's doing. He's being quite active on the map, but he's not really getting anything done. And it's not like he can get done. I mean, 4 Lings is not that much, but oh, never mind. 4 Lings turned into Banelings through a drop Overlord. Now that can get something done.
Hey.
I'm wondering if he'll go in too soon, though, because if he waits for +2 weapons to finish up, the Banelings will, of course, then be able to one-shot a lot of these probes, so a lot more damage. But if he goes in sooner, he might catch herO off guard with a higher chance.
I don't think you wait a minute and a half for an Overlord you just made, but maybe.
Could be worth it. We'll find out in a moment. I mean, two banelings for hits are still not bad. You'll kill half that probe line, but there's a cannon there. So yeah, his is gonna go in right now, and I guess drop now if the Overlord lives. Maybe drop again later. Tries to get a run by into the natural base. That's not quite gonna work out for him. Gets caught by the army. Guy Fieri's pushing back.
Yeah, but it pushes the army away from the third base, so that couple extra, like, you know, stalker shot or sentry force field won't be there to protect the third. The mothership force still is. Oh, it's gonna lose. Oh,
Yep.
that's gonna awkward. Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, so I definitely lost a heartbeat there, but I think that herO did defend that pretty well, so no real problems there. For ByuL, it does suck. That's an expensive investment through gas, but really, ooh, nice catch over here. Getting that Warp Prism certainly nice too. So both players losing out on pretty important drop things.
Yeah. Drop things. Yeah, the Warp Prism catch is really quite good, but herO's defense, the Banelings, is also equally good. I think the fear that there's further Ling attacks and Baneling roll-ins is still there, even if you have the SimCity, but lack of Overlord usually means they're not going to send another one out, so even if they have speed, they usually just don't bother. Double Colossus production looks kind of scary. This will mean that herO is not really looking for a fight with this army, nor should he be.
Can the second Colossus even get out?
Well, maybe it has to go up and then down first.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think it can go up here. That's a doodad.
That's officially a doodad.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter because it's stuck on this side anyways.
Yeah, let's kill a Stargate. I think he actually could kill a pylon.
Yeah, I think the pylon will go. Well, he's supply blocked, so does he really want to right now? He needs the pylon. Okay, catches stalkers in the middle of the map. Maybe the Colossus isn't his concern right now. This ByuL got a little bit scary there for a second. Didn't it rebuild the Warp Prism? He didn't rebuild the Warp Prism because he could just pick up the Colossus, but awkward is.
But he's got to pick up every single unit that comes out of that turbo. Like.
Well, I guess the one that's blocking it out. No, I think the second one that comes out still can't get out.
Yeah.
Like I think that second Colossus is gonna get stuck on the left side, or behind the cannon. Either way, we're gonna find out in a second. This is gonna be terrible. This is so bad for herO, unfortunately.
It's probably like never. It's like I swear, it never happens on ladder, baby.
Yeah. don't worry. This happens to everybody. Okay, so he picks it up, but same problem. No, it's the same problem though. Look.
Yeah, I know it's the same problem, but it's like I wanted to see if they would stack on top of each other.
Well, they won't stack on top of each other. What it'll do is it'll push it out into another side. Or what it'll do is leave it finished at 100% and it won't complete until something's made space for it. I've had that happen with bad SimCity and Siege tanks before.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Very rare, but that does happen. Well, he does have his Colossus now, even though they're coming out very awkwardly from here on out.
But these are lurkers. Oh, this could be a good defense out of ByuL if he does this correctly. I don't know if there's that much detection. There's a single observer. There it is right there. If that gets picked off, there's no way to see. And the observer does go down.
Don't push. Don't push.
Okay, so if he pushes, the lurkers are going to wreck him. But on the other side of the map, while this goes on, Banelings and Lings are set up to try and run by into this base once again.
It's not really going to work out that well with SimCity.
No.
Oh, but there's a drop Overlord.
Ah, there you go. That's your ticket in. Ticket to the big show. The army does turn around to try and deal with this. I like that he had even hallucinated a Colossus on the, I guess, on his attack. I can't do words apparently. But
can't do words. Banelings. And the
Okay, so
there's a lot of cannons.
I keep looking back at the army though because herO's got a really, like, objectively speaking, the sentries and the Colossus fantastic for fighting the Lings. The stalkers not so much. Like lurkers and Lings, goodbye stalkers. Have a good night.
Yeah, it's a very delicate army. Definitely, a lot of positioning is gonna have to go down. ByuL has Vipers, upgrades, and a greater Spire on the way. Something that herO predicted, I think, more than scouted.
Ooh, I like the Vipers actually quite a bit. Abducts are going to be very, very strong here.
Yeah, so the assumption is there that, you know, Broodlords and Hive Tech it's got to be around here. It's actually not that long of a game, only 12 minutes, but not much has happened. They both had some pretty good macro openers. So double Stargate, Fleet Beacon, all makes a lot of sense. Of course, an Oracle to help out would have been helpful versus the Lurkers too when he tried to push in like he did, but better late than never. And this is gonna get to the Broodlord status, I think. I think herO can't push in a ByuL. I mean, maybe if he finds a good position, and maybe he can keep denying this 5th base, but I don't think he can actually win versus the army.
I do like that he finally got Oracles here for detection, though. A lot more reliable than the Observers. Tempest can slowly push this back, I suppose, but I feel like the Tempest Disruptor difference when you're fighting Lurkers is pretty much the same. You're going to be trading out. The Lurkers will just remake themselves fairly easily. This base is going to get riggedy wrecked if he gets to get in there.
Needs more SimCity. He's got enough pylons. He just needs to, you know, go Warcraft 3 SimCity tower defense styles on it. Oh no.
This is a great catch because this also shuts down the gold base, but of course 15 probes is always nice. Right side of the map. Okay, oh man, these stalkers look so stupid when there's more than 3 of them. Like I didn't think it got worse, but it does. It's like the back of a porcupine.
I think what they're going for with the legs is like kind of a sword, right?
Maybe.
It looks like a.
It looks like hooker boots.
Hooker boots. Pinky boots.
All right, that was some really cool use of the terrain to his advantage there as he desperately tried to get to the top of the ramp. Problem is, though, while this went on, looks like some abducts went down. We got some Broodlords out. There's just no way this army... Oh, God, that Colossus. There's no way this army works. I mean, the Tempests actually don't have any Corruptors or Hydras here to shoot back at them. So, funny enough, Tempests are kind of the kings at the moment. But the attack's so slow and their damage isn't great, so it'll take way too long to get the appropriate amount of damage done to make these truly dangerous.
It's true. Classic Zerg problem. Turned all your Corruptors into Broodlords.
Yeah, oh, it was so bad for you. Sorry, that was the mech in me. It couldn't. It came out like a burp. You just couldn't control it.
Well, it's like this is like the Broodlord Infesta era. This is the only way you could kill Broodlords, maybe, is if they forgot to actually add in Corruptors. And it's like, oh my God, Zerg messed up. It's the hardest strategy possible and didn't actually include the Corruptors. Oh no. A lot of salt there versus Zerg, this composition. But.
Oh, I like this. The hallucinations. I mean, he saw them at the edge of the Overseer already, so he knows that there's hallucinations. I don't think he'll go for the abducts and the... Yeah, he just goes for the Tempest instead. That was a nice choice.
Yeah. Well, it was the obvious choice, as you said. Nice halluc, bro. No, more hallucinations.
I really like the use of hallucinations. I think it's really cool. I like the use of hallucinations, but as you can see, fake units don't beat real units, unfortunately, and that's going to be that. That army gets absolutely crushed. herO has no way to deal with this. His army is not that big. His income hasn't been good enough to create a bank for himself while this goes on. He's warping in 5 stalkers. I feel like desperately.
Go boots. Go Power Rangers.
Yeah.
5 stalkers. Oh,
go Gadget Blink.
Well, there's one less Power Ranger now.
Well, obviously, it's the black one that died first, right?
There's an even worse joke in there, but I'm not going to go for it.
Oh, yeah, didn't one of them like actually die or something?
Yeah.
Oh, God. My bad. My bad. As long as the Pink Ranger's live. Yo, Amy Jo Johnson or whatever is so beautiful, but my crush aside, guys.
The real crush. Oh, another Blinken. Can't really do much with Blinken of Banelings, though.
Yeah, it's just chaos, and that's it. Like, there's nothing else to really be said about it. I love the moves herO's making. He's trying to do a lot with very little. Unfortunately, though, you're fighting against Broodlords. You're fighting against Lurkers. It's Tier 3 Zerg, baby. You're fighting with Gateway units? There's no way that's going to eventually power through. And even if it does, all these Corruptors are just waiting with a 2k mineral, 1.5k gas bank. They're just waiting to turn into more Broodlords. Yeah, there we go.
There you go. There it is.
I love that the
Lurkers. Kill one of those Corruptors. Get it.
Oh, that transfuse is so nice. Keeps that Broodlord alive forever. Just long enough for that Lurker to kill another 5 or 10 Stalkers. I mean, these 2 Lurkers underneath this are like watching a Terran player position those Widow Mines into Liberators, right? Like, they're just here to kill the Stalkers, and it's working out pretty well. I'm surprised Corruption's not being used. But, you know, no need, I guess. GG's. ByuL takes a 2-0 and advances on to the semifinals. Look, guys, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I'm starting to think about investing in ByuL for the rest of the season. Like, he is looking so good, so fine lately. He will, however, have to go fight against ByuL, who, and I would like to really stress here, he has beaten before and recently. So normally I think we look at these matches and we're like, ByuL gets to the finals. There's no doubt, right? Like, there's no doubt. Well, actually, this could be a very close semifinals match. We're going to try and team up with Crank, though, so we don't leave him out of the games. Make sure they get into the matches as we move towards that semi. So it'll be ByuL versus ByuL first. Afterwards will be Armani versus either Stylish or Solar. So stick around, guys. 2 minutes of commercials and more of the BTSL when we return.